In this video, we're gonna talk about how to pay for products once you've gotten an order from a customer. I get questions every day still asking me, Cameron, I got my first order. Whose money do I use? How do I pay for it? I need Facebook to give me that money so that I can buy that product. We're gonna go over all of that in detail in this video. Okay, so when you start dropshipping, I know it can be confusing. That's the whole reason this channel exists, because I wanted to start it and it was confusing, and I just started posting videos of what I was learning as I learned it. So I get it. It's really confusing. Now, before we go a little further, I do just have to mention, for those of you who are interested in all of this, but hate the idea of doing the work yourself, message me down below. There's an email, that's my email address. I have a guy who runs a whole team of people who manage shops and Amazon stores for people. So if you're interested in doing an Amazon store, which is pretty damn cool, or you're interested in having somebody run a Facebook shop for you, you can get on a call with him and then he will go over all the details, but I can send you some details up front just to make sure that's something you're even interested in. Email me, like I said, at CameronLawrenceBusiness@gmail.com. It's down below in the description as well, and I will hook you up with that. Just had to put that in there. Anyway, after watching a bunch of videos and reading resources and checking out courses possibly, I have a course if you're interested, but put that out there. Anyway, no, it's fine. You don't have to look at the course, but I mean, I got one in case you either way. After a while, it can get super confusing because you're starting to learn some of the pieces to the puzzle, right? You kind of have an idea. You're in that stage of uninformed optimism where when you want to try something new, all you see is the plus. All you see is how it can work, and it really starting to make sense to you. But you haven't learned all the little steps that make it kind of a downside. When you start anything new, there is a stage called uninformed optimism, and that is where you just go for it because all you've heard is all the benefits and you're super stoked and it's just really exciting. Then right around the corner, when you start to actually learn a lot of the information, it becomes informed pessimism. And then that's where a lot of people die out because they're finally starting to see some of the hurdles and they just don't want to deal with it. And that's usually where people like you come and find videos like these, and that's where we kind of dig through and fill in some of those gaps of the knowledge that you maybe didn't have or just somehow skipped over. I did it a lot. I'd start something and be like, oh crap, I ran into this issue, now what? Which brings us to the current reason for the video. You just got your first order. Hell yeah, you just did exactly the whole reason why you started this whole thing. That's the whole point. You just did that. Somebody found your product online, hit purchase, put in their credit card information, and actually submitted the order, and you got the notification on your end. Good job. So while you do your little happy dance, celebrate, do whatever you need to do to have fun with the situation, because it's really cool that you got your first order. But now a little bit of dread sets in because maybe you didn't realize what comes next. You actually have to fulfill that order now, and the customer needs to get it. But Facebook hasn't paid you. You know that they've paid Facebook, but Facebook hasn't given and transferred the money to you yet. So how do you pay for that? There's two ways, and both ways involve you paying for the product up front. You either have to save up money or use a credit card. Some people ask all the time, if I was just to save up cash, how much cash should I save up to safely do this as a side hustle or kind of invest in the process so that I can get the ball rolling? It all depends. I'm okay with you starting with $500 to $1,000. And the only reason it's that high is because you never know when you put a product online if it's just gonna blow up and a bunch of people are gonna buy it. Now, you can set quantity limits. So let's say you only have $100 and you're listing things that cost $20 a piece. I would only list that you have 4 of them. Yes, you could say that you have 5, but there's taxes and all that stuff involved. Say that you have 4. Oh look, another random thing I need to tell you. If you are doing dropshipping and you're running into a lot of issues with ordering and quantities and price changes and all that stuff, FBM Fox is the way to go to handle those things. I always talk about it in all of my videos because they're the people I trust with all of my dropshipping software needs, I guess you could say. I've known them since they started, and I've been really lucky to work with them after I already chose to use them, which was really cool. Link in the description, there's a coupon code. Just putting that out there. Helps me, helps you, helps everybody win. So back to the video. Now, the way I did it was use a credit card. I never used any of my own money to start this, and now it's turned into thousands and thousands of dollars to where I never took a loss because I used credit. Now, I'm also very anti-debt, but also I don't follow those rules completely either, so I'm also open to the idea of credit cards, like I said. If you use a credit card, that allows you to buy it with credit, fulfill the order, send it to the customer, and then once Facebook eventually pays you, which we'll go over in a second, you can then take the money Facebook paid you, pay off your credit card, and then keep the difference as profit, which is pretty much how this whole thing works if you haven't pieced that together yet. A customer buys an item from you, you buy the item for them, you enter in their details, ship it to them, they get it, Facebook recognizes that the item is delivered through the tracking process. Facebook now gives a little waiting period of about 5 business days as long as everything went well, and then they give you your money through PayPal directly into your bank account. That's the basic answer to how all this works. Yes, you pay for the item first, and then you have to wait. You have to wait for Facebook to pay you later, and then you get your money plus some. And if it starts to seem like that's not really fair, or that's not really what I expected, just take a step back, take a deep breath, and think about this. That's how any business really works. If you buy something from Target, they bought most of those items up front at their cost, and then they have to wait for you to buy it to get the cost of that item back plus the profit that they marked it up to. That's just how inventory works. You're lucky in a way because now you don't actually have to buy anything until the customer puts in that digital dollar promise of actually wanting the item. They've already put the commitment out there. Facebook's holding the money as a middleman so that in case anything goes wrong, they can make sure the customer is taken care of. Now, they do usually side with the customer in case there is an issue or if the customer just wants to scam you a little bit, which is rare, but it happens. But remember, this prevents us from actually having a full business with a bunch of overhead. In the past, when you wanted to sell something online, you'd buy 1,000 of an item, store it somewhere, like in your basement or a warehouse or however legit your business was, and then you'd have to wait for people to buy it from you, and then just hope that you sold all of it, because if you didn't, you'd take a little bit of a loss, maybe. This is a lot easier. It can just be confusing when you're starting and you don't really know how it works. So, that's how it works. So now that that's cleared up and you sold a product that you listed and found, it actually sold, which is awesome. Here are some more products that you can get ideas from or even copy completely in this video right here.